Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. You're welcome. You're all welcome to today's training. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great. You're welcome to today's training, Realtors training. So I just dropped on the Realtors group, so I'm sure others will also be joining us in a very short time. So pardon me, my background is a bit noisy where I am. I actually traveled, and where I am, the network is even very bad and it's so noisy. But fortunately, I won't be the one training today. Natasha, a sales professional and a sales colleague, will be taking the class today. So we're starting right away. I'd like for us on the live call to please drop in the chat box where you're joining us from. Before we start, just let us know. We always like to take record of where our agents join us from. We know that a lot of the time, some people even join from outside Nigeria, especially when we run ads for the training. So just help us drop in the chat box where you're joining us from. And then before we go, in the next 2 minutes, Natasha will be taking over this training. I hope everyone can still hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. All right. So because today is going to just be a 45 minutes training, and at the end of the training, we're going to be taking questions. We are going to start right away. Natasha, you're welcome. You're welcome. Natasha is a professional in the sales department with Terra Developers, and she will take it up from here. Natasha, you can take it up.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. I welcome everyone to this sales training and hopefully tackle some of the questions that I might be confronted with as a realtor. So first of all, we'll define what a sales objection, what a sales objection is. So what is an objection? Because an objection is like, in my own words, it's probably feedback from the client or from your prospect. Like, the person is actually asking a lot of questions, and then maybe about the product, or maybe he's asking a lot of questions, and my come to a good place because maybe he wants to buy, or maybe he wants to buy for someone else. So sales objection is one of the most this is where in fact a lot of realtors might find it very difficult, because after prospecting a client and then convince the client, the person sees your videos, pictures, write up, and then you're able to bring the person to site. So on site is where the decision is made, whether the client will be buying in, accept your offer verbally, or the client would deny your offer, So first of all, I would always tell people, product knowledge is key. Product knowledge is key. Like, you have to know you have to know your products. Then aside from knowing your products, you have to know your industry. Versatility is very, very important, especially as a realtor. You have to know what's happening in your industry. You also have to know so much about the product you're selling. Sometimes some realtors might just they're just probably after, okay, I want to close this sale because of the commission. I want to close this sale because of it. Sometimes we don't actively listen to our prospects. Okay, so one of the first things to overcoming sales objection is active listening. Yes, you must develop skill of listening to your client. Factoring a client, to side, you trying to show your benefits of your product to the client. The next thing is to actively listen to the client. Like when you're throwing a client to side, you should listen to him, you should look at his body language, and then when he's showing concerns, when he's like, you have to be empathetic. For example, now you take a client to side, say you're touring, like in the case of some of my properties, like Terra developers properties, you're touring the client, and the client starts raising issue of oh, what about the flooding in this area? What about the flooding in this area? Sometimes, the person might not even, that the realtor on the other side might just be telling, oh, it's a 4-bedroom duplex, you have all the benefits, 24 hours light, and the client is saying, okay, what about demolition? What about these are the concerns? So you have to, empathize with the client, or the client is saying, oh, I bought a property somewhere else and then this and this happened. First of all, you have to empathize with the client, and see and put yourself in the client's shoes, right? You put yourself in the client's shoes. So when you put yourself in the client's shoes, you will be able to see reasons with the client. And then after seeing reasons with the client, you're empathetic, and you have to assure the client that, oh, this would not happen. I know this has happened in the past, but this would not happen in this case, and also you have to you know, sort out every doubt in his mind. And that's where versatility comes in play. That's why you should know a lot of things about your industry, what is happening in your industry, daily reports about your industry. You have to be abreast of information, right? You have to be abreast of information to overcome any of these sales objection. Because if the client is bringing up issues about a particular area and you're not versatile about the area, you don't even know what is happening, you might not be able to clarify what that client is saying. But if you're able to, know a lot of things about your industry, and the client brings up issues about that, you can actually overcome that objection. So overcoming objection is like you're canceling everything the client says, you're empathizing with the client, right? You acknowledge what he says, but you're also, clarifying that objection. You're also saying, okay, this and this and this and this. And then sometimes too, that's where active listening comes into play. Your client is saying, okay, start say, okay, this property is so expensive, this particular property is so expensive. That's where you sell the benefits of the location to the client. After selling the benefits of the location, you can now give him alternatives. Like, for example, now we have a mortgage plan in place. You can use your mortgage plan, you can use your RSA, that's the pension plan. All these things are in place. So in case the client is saying, oh, this is expensive, this and this and that, you can bring in that, overcoming objection is there. It's part of the sales process, right? But it's your duty as a salesperson to clarify any objection, or any objection that the clients might have concerning the product. So, like I said, active listening is one of the ways you can overcome. It's one of the ways you can overcome sales objection. So it's one of the ways you can overcome sales objection. Very, 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 very important. in overcoming sales objection. You have to know your product. You know your product, you can now speak to that product, right? And then you can also you have to be you have to empathize with the prospect, with the clients. You have to show empathy with the client. You have to show empathy. I can remember one client I told, oh, they were both architects. The woman and the man, they were both architects. It was a couple actually. I first of all, when I went on site with the man I was agreeing, oh, this and that, we really agree. He said, oh, okay, that I have to bring my wife to tour the property with you. So he brought his wife, we scheduled for an inspection, came on site. Architects are, should I say, one of the most difficult clients to deal with because they know everything about the building. They can literally look at the building and say, this structure is not well built, or this structure is well built, right? Because they are architects. So when the man brought his wife, so he went around, they were looking, and the woman was just saying, "Oh, this one is like this." They were using architectural jargons. He said, "Okay, oh, this is like this is like this is like this." Me, I was looking at, I said, "Oh, this property I'm touring, but it wasn't for terror. It wasn't for terror. It was like a piece of work. This property is beautiful and everything. At the end of the day, the woman said, no, that she doesn't think she can. She doesn't think she can. They can actually buy into this. Meanwhile, the man had told me yes, and he was very okay with the man has told me yes, and the man was very, very okay with her products. But the woman didn't seem to be okay. She was just bringing up issues. I was canceling I was canceling all the objections that she had. She said, water, I cancelled it, all those things and all that. Then she now said, no, she doesn't think the structure is like this. She doesn't think, she can actually key into that particular project. I said, following up this woman, it took me 4 months to close that sale. 4 good months to close that sale. But at the end of the day, I closed it. I gave her alternative. I didn't just say this woman is not ready. In real estate, you have to be very patient. You have to be very, 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 very patient. If you're not patient, you can't overcome some of those sales objections. So you have to be very, 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 very patient. So I'm also going to be looking at some of the sales objections you might have. Sometimes some people might say price. That's why you have to know your products very well. You can say, okay, why is it expensive? You have to give reasons. Oh, this is the location because of where it's located. It's not expensive. Look at the city. It's located in the city center, as in the case of our properties, Then you also have to find out what the person's budget is, because sometimes too, the person's budget might be very, very, very low. Imagine somebody that has 5 million naira, 10 million naira, the person wants to buy property. Of course, the person might not be able to get the property you're selling, but you can actually advise, right? You can actually have, of course, you empathize. Not like 5 or 10 million naira is a small money. Do you understand? Yeah, it's relative, it's big, but you have to empathize. This is what, why not do this? Why not key into Nathan's Bay with 5 million naira? You can use your pension, you can use your NHF. You just have to. Do you understand? So you have to understand your client. You have to provide solutions for them, give them alternatives. For example, now you take a client type, person is saying, oh, the lighting in this area, I feel it's not good, and you bring up oh, okay, we have the lighting here is very good. We have 24 hours lights here. We have Jenny's. We also use Gen and all that. You can also suggest to the person, okay, what about this and that? What about if we get more solar? If you can get solar panel, at a very affordable, I can link you up. You have to provide alternatives. You have to provide solution. The main thing about handling sales objection is that you have to cancel out the no to a yes. Because any prospect you take to site and the person is bringing up issues, trust me, the person wants to buy. If the person does not want to buy, the person will not even bring up issues. The person will just. I like when I'm actually faced with sales objection. Honestly speaking, I love it because I know that I am close to making it. But if I take a prospect and the person is just yesing me, okay, yesing me, it's not like you don't have clients that are like that, right? That are just okay, you know what? They just acknowledge what you're selling and then just say, oh, send me an offer letter. But there's a high probability, there's 80 to 90% probability that most clients that usually object, right? They usually object. Trust me, they are interested in buying. They are interested in buying. So you can offer them solution. You can tell them, okay, if they talk about price, you can say, oh, we have payment options. You just, you also have to justify what you're selling. If the person says, oh, it's too expensive, you say, no, it's not expensive. You can even say, oh, we are one of the most affordable real estate this time. We also give you value for your money. Let me tell you why it's not expensive. Do you know that if you key into this product, if you key into this particular project, in 6 or 8 months' time, look at what you'll be getting. By the time you do analysis of the value of that project, I'm sure the client will be very, very, very convinced, right? So you have to bring up options. Do you understand? And then in the case of budgeting, maybe the person brings up budget objections. You first of all focus on the essential features. If the person says, this is what I have, you start mentioning the features that, oh, see, this is what you get. Look at the features of Nathan's Bay. Look at the features of Carmen Street. Do you understand? Then you also say, oh, this will save you cost. Look at this place now. It will save you cost. So you have to highlight the long-term benefits. You also have to tell the person about the return on investment. Analyze it. I love doing that part, telling you what you get. I can remember one of my clients that keyed into Nathan's Bay. He lives abroad, the diaspora client. And then it was even a video tour. After that, I highlighted, okay, we have, there's a waterfront view and everything. In fact, I even have to climb. He said he wants to see. After that, he started comparing Terra with other real estate companies. By the time I was done talking to him, he even told me, oh, I bought from Imenes. I said, I know Imenes is farther than Terra. Look at the benefits you're getting in Terra. Imenes, I started, selling the features of Nathan's business. By the time I was done, the guy even paid money without even seeing it. I mean, it was a video talk. He just gave a deposit without even coming to see. Well, it was when he now came back to Nigeria that we actually now properly went to site. So because why? I convinced him. Every objection I cancelled it. Every objection I cancelled. The day he called me, said, oh, I just saw in my rise news that this and this, so they're developing buildings, this one. I said, no, sir, we don't have that. We have delivered projects. I can, when you come to Nigeria, I can take you to some of our delivered projects. People are already living in there. I have to even send in videos I did, so that is canceling objection, right? That is canceling objection. So you have to also, there's what we call need objections. So need objection is that you have to identify the pain points of clients. You have to understand the customer's challenges. So what does the person, is he a first-time buyer? What is he looking at? Why does he want to buy? What does he want to do? Why does he want to buy? Is he a first-time buyer? Is it for family use, or he wants to invest? Do you understand? So this thing is very, very important. Once you understand the customer's challenges, you focus on the solution. You highlight the product and the benefit. So you have to highlight, for example, let me take and I love Nathan's Bay, right? I love Nathan's. I love Nathan's Bay. I love the serenity of that place. I love the fact that that place is just serene. Aside from the waterfront, so I'll use Nathan's Bay as an example. I like the I highlight the features of Nathan's Bay. Aside from waterfront, it's serene. There are things around it, like the Dangote refinery, second international airport. You have to focus on the benefits. And so if the client is now saying this and that, you have to now offer solution. Says, oh, it's too far, then you can start offering solutions. Okay, why not? I can remember one client I was talking to, that was a few days ago. I said, oh, I want mainland. I said, nobody goes to the mainland, and he lives abroad. I said, everybody in diaspora, this is where the game changer is. On the island, he said, we said, yes, there's security on the island. You don't hear of any argument or anybody coming to rob you. No, by the time I was done, the client was convinced. So you have to offer alternative solutions to that client. If he says, okay, I thank God for Terra. Terra has array of products that can suit anybody. Like now, our independence home, 4 million naira can start on owning a property. A one-bedroom apartment is 40 million naira, 4 million naira. So you just buy, right? You can. We have we have videos of a delivered project, Lagos and Abuja. People are already living in there. You can show the client this is what we've done before, because sometimes some of these clients, they're just when they watch the news and everything that's happening, they might just be afraid, or might have concerns. Not even afraid, I'll just say they might have concerns concerning investing in Nigeria. So you have to cancel those objections and tell the client, okay, look at what we've done, look at what we've done. Never had issue of demolition and all that, right? So first of all, you have to listen actively and be empathetic. That's the first thing. I used to tell people, before pitching to a client, research that client, make that client your friend. I don't mean friend, but I mean have a relationship with that client. If you have a relationship with that client, it's easier to sell to the client, than just, whether cold calling and everything, but have a relationship with that client, build it, stay calm and composed. Don't be too desperate. That's one of them. So stay calm and composed. Listen to the client first. As a talking, listen first. You first of all say, oh, I understand how you feel about this product. I understand, you can even say, oh, like, I understand what you. So telling him or her, I understand how you feel about this, but look at where we are. That thing I understand is that you're agreeing with the client. I know your concerns, right? I know your concerns, but this and this and this. Do you understand? So sometimes when the client says, oh, I'll get back to you, and you send prompters, reminders, and all that, don't be too pushy and aggressive. Sometimes, even when the client is saying this is objective, allow the client to finish his statement or sentences. Sometimes when the client is saying, oh, I don't think I want to invest here because da 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 da. I don't think I want to invest there because da 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 da. No. Allow the client first. Allow the client finish what he or she is saying. Allow the client finish what he or she is saying before even interjecting. Before interjecting, allow him, focus on his needs and pinpoint. That always works. Whatever the client is saying, please, like, take it seriously. Focus on it, if he's saying that I don't want to stay here because this and that and that, you know, that's why I said offer alternative, offer alternative. And always ask open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are very, very, very important. I understand your process. Can you tell me more? Those kind of questions, you know, those kind of questions. So you can also, if you don't understand where the client is at, you can even say, what specifically do you want? What are you looking at? What specifically do you want? You can even give him like you can ask open-ended questions, like I said. Ask open-ended questions like this. Do you want something budget friendly, or are you looking at investing in the long term? Are you looking at living here with your family? Are you looking at staying here alone? Like, you must ask those questions. So as you're asking all those open-ended questions, it helps you, informs you better about your client, and also how to advise him. So you present solution, like I said. I've already talked about that one. Providing solution, you have to tell him alternative solutions. Don't just the client says, oh, this and this and this and this and you're not, oh, the area is waterlogged. You're not providing, you're not saying anything. You're not canceling that objection, because that is a concern. That is a concern. Oh, the water in Lekki is usually smelling, and you say we have high, of course, we treat our water. It's not like that. It's very crystal clear. It doesn't smell. And the client says, leave that thing. My friend has said he treated her water. The water is still smelling. Leave that thing, Joy, is the same thing. So in that case, what would you do? You have to convince the client. Of course, you're not too pushy, but you're telling him, no, we don't. I can take you on a tour to one of our deliver projects, deliver courts. You can see for yourself. We can schedule for inspection and go there. Don't be pushy. Don't be, once you're pushing and aggressive, because the client will think that there's something on. Once you're pushy, aggressive, because you must allow the client. You have to stay calm, like I said. You must allow him think through it. You're touring a client. You're not just talking. You're actively listening. As you're touring, you're actively listening. So your even body language, eye contact, what he's saying, gestures, all those things, you have to be receptive to all those things. So as you're actively listening to him, you're being receptive, you're watching what he's saying, so you're calmly, you're telling him, you're providing solutions, right? So I also talked about handling price objection. So I talked about that one. You can also say, I see price is a concern. Let me show you how our houses provides long-term value. Then that's why I said you must be abreast of them. You must be abreast of the industry, the information in the industry. You must be abreast of what is happening in real estate. You must know what is happening, because if the client brings up a problem, probably a challenge facing the real estate sector, and you don't even know what is happening, you cannot overcome that objection. But if you are abreast of the information in the real estate industry, you can actually speak to that, right? You can actually speak to that, and you can also, like I said, provide solution. Basically, handling objections, taking no for an answer, in my own view, turning a no into a yes, right? Turning a no into a yes, taking no for an answer. You of course, you empathize with the client, you agree with him, oh, I see your concern, but you also have to sell the benefits of you have to sell the benefits of our products, right? You have to sell the benefits. So with all these things, remember that overcoming sales objection requires a customer-centric approach.
Right? We're gonna see what happened. Don't tell me she's away. I can't remember that.
My media, stay mute. Thank you. So, overcoming objection requires a customer-centric approach. What do I mean by a customer-centric approach? You must put yourself in the customer's in his stead, like in his shoes. Right? You must put yourself in customer's shoes. Because if you look at it as you're offering value, right, you would know how to tackle some of those objections. But if you look at it as I want to sell and make money, my own is to make money. No. Yes, you're here to make money, but you're also here to provide value to your customers. You're there to provide value to them. So if you bring in a customer-centric approach, it will help you to overcome some of these objections. Then another thing is effective communication. Effective communication, right? You're telling the customer, your clients now, you're telling your clients or your prospects, these are the options we have. Sometimes, let me look, use an example. A realtor can tell a client, the client can say, okay, specifically, I want 2-bedroom apartments. 2-bedroom apartments in, say, Lekki one. Let me use that as an example. I want 2-bedroom apartment in Lekki. Sometimes, instead of you to find that, oh, I have 2-bedroom apartments in Lekki phase 1 that is still under construction. Sometimes the realtor might not even tell the client, yes, I have 2-bedroom apartment, because sometimes the person is all, okay, I want to sell, and you're not using a customer-centric approach. But instead of telling the client, you tell the client, oh, the 2-bedroom apartment we have, look at what you stand to gain. But however, it's under construction. You must have sold the benefits to the client first. You visualize it. Under our properties, most of our properties are under construction. We must be able to visualize. That's why we have prototypes. And we'll show you what the way our properties will look after completion. So you visualize it. Once you visualize it, you can actually say to the client, oh, we have a 2-bedroom masonette. Is this yeah, we have 24 hours, like it's supposed to be space. You make it sweet, like you make it, of course, you're selling the benefits. You're selling the benefits, you're telling me this is what you stand to gain, this is what you stand to gain, this is what you stand to gain, this is all the features that the property has. But however, it is under construction. It is best that you buy it and you key into it now, right? By the time you say all those things, the client is already looking forward to even paying. Okay, wow, that's awesome. Wow, one person is like, the person just wants to do something. The person just wants to pay, or do a down payment. But of course, you have to tell the person, oh, it is under construction. What we're actually selling, if it's a shell unit, we are selling the shell units. But you must have sold the benefits to the client. Say, oh, wow, however, it is actually the shell unit. This is why it is shell. Okay, you can customize your apartment the way you want it. By the time you finish talking and saying all that, try to be at least you communicated effectively. You're telling the clients that, oh, this is it, or it's the shell unit, because I know someone, should I say, yeah, I know someone, let me paint this scenario. She didn't tell the client that, oh, we're selling, this is what we are selling. She just painted a very beautiful picture to the client. Good and fine, that's fine. But forget to tell the client, look at what this is how we deliver the unit to you. You know, she didn't say all that. And of course, the offer was made. I think the client did not even read the offer. Client, at the end of the day, you know, issues arose out of that. So first, you have to effectively communicate to your client. This is what we have. This is what you have. Okay, what is the timeline? The completion timeline? Oh, it's 18 months from when you give in, you pay your pay down payment of the unit. 18 months from that time. Sometimes, you know, so you have to be effectively know how to communicate with your client, you know, and of course, I also talked about problem solving. You have to be creative about the solutions you bring to the client. Don't go and say what you won't do, right? Or what the company will not do in the bid of overcoming objection. Like I said, you have to be empathetic towards that client, and you have to provide solutions. You have to provide alternatives to the client. Oh, why not do this? Why not do this? Why not key into this? Why not look at what you stand to gain, right? You have to be empathetic. You know, people and clients or prospects buy more when they can actually connect their emotion to what they are buying. Okay, let me ask you a question. Have you ever bought something that you didn't plan to buy? So why did that happen? Sometimes it's customer relationship. Maybe the way the person spoke to you, maybe it wasn't even in your person is just saying, no, why don't you want to buy? You now say, this thing is like, you say, no, this is my product. Start selling the benefits. Then sometimes you're convinced, you're saying, oh, okay, so it will do this and oh, okay, oh, really, will it do this? Or you know it, you buy the product. And that is the product you were not even, you didn't want to buy, but because of the way the person presented it, you bought it. And the person was able to cancel all your objections, right? That's why you. So, okay, so that is that. So I'll just run through what I just said, you know, in 6 lines. How to handle objection. You acknowledge and validate the objection. That's number 1. Acknowledging what the client is saying. You know, you agree with what the client is saying. That's number 1. Then you clarify and understand the concerns. What are his concerns? You clarify those concerns. You clarify and understand it. What are his concerns? That's the second thing. The third is empathize and build rapport. I told you that it's easier to make sales. It's easier you build a rapport relationship with your client. It always goes. You know, you build a rapport with him. You know, even if the client, you have prospects that you've been prospected for, you know, and there are objections, and at the end of the day, they go cold. Once in a while, you send them messages, how are you doing, sir? I just wanted to know how is your family. Even why not find out their birthdays? You can even send them messages, okay, oh, happy birthday, this and that. You know, you build rapport. That's how you develop relations, build rapport with your client. Then the fourth is you provide solutions or alternatives. Oh, I don't want this Bolivia is too expensive. But I actually want a 2-bedroom unit. I want a 2-bedroom unit. Then you say, oh, why not go for Carmen Street? Why even doing something in Nathan's Bay? You have to give him options. We even have something in Portsmouth. You love the area, you love it. It's in a very serene environment. That's selling. Then the fifth is address and overcome the objection. Any objection, to address it. And that's why I talked about versatility. You have to be versatile in your field. You have to be armed with your products. You must know your product in and out, because if you cannot talk about your product, you cannot talk about what you're selling, with passion and enthusiasm, and also, you can't even convince that person. So you can't overcome those objections, right? If you don't know your product, you can there's a 1% likelihood you'll be able to overcome the objection of the clients. And then after you address and overcome the objection, there's no objection and everything. Then you now have to now know where to issue the offer letter to your client. Once you can confirm, okay, so are we clear on this? Is there any other thing? And client says no, confirm and close the sale. So there are keywords that I thought I should also, from my experience in real estate, it should also be your anchor, especially when you're touring clients. First of all, I understand how you feel. Sir, I understand how you feel. Many customers have felt the same way. However, is very important. So as you're saying, you say, but however, this and this and this. That's one of the statements, like your anchor. Then the second one is, if I could offer you this solution, would that change your decision? If person is now saying, oh, I wish this thing was there, is this one, what if I offer to do that? Would you still buy? Would it change your decision? That. Then the third one is, would you rather go for this or you go for this? Would you rather go for Carmen Street or you go for Paul Street? Would you rather go for this or you go for this? So you must have alternative choices, right? You must have alternative choices. That's why Terra has an array of products. So it gives our clients, our prospects, that feel of, okay, there's so many projects to choose from, and they all have wonderful benefits. They are all in good locations. So it's easier. So after that, you now say, oh, like we discussed, this and this has happened. Okay, can we move forward from this phase? Can we move on? So we're also trying to say, when you're trying to tell your client, oh, that's not true, like you're trying to object, like maybe, rumors can actually deter people from actually buying. So when you're trying to tell him or her that, oh, this is not true, you can use things like, I understand your concern, but this is not accurate. Don't say it's a lie. It's a lie. You're lying. It's not true. No, you can't speak to your client like that. I said something. You have to be customer centric. You must have that customer centric approach, and you have to be very patient with your client. If someone says, "Oh," I can remember one of the sales I made. I did that offer letter 4 times. I'm talking about with Terra. The client, I started in fact, funny enough, I started doing that offer letter since last year, and I closed that thing in June. The client who, after us issuing an offer letter, the client will just go cold. When he sees my status again, or maybe see my this on social media, he will DM me again and say, hey, I want to buy this apartment. Do you know what? I want to pay so those time. I have to now redo the offer. I did that offer 4 times. I'm not joking. I did that offer 4 times. In fact, the day the client paid, I went to his office, sat down in his office. In fact, first time I went under the bridge. He said he caught a cold. He gave me an appointment. He didn't show up. It was raining, and then I didn't even take offense. I still went back. The second day I went back, I started to die, Natasha. He now did the transfer right in front of me. So So in real estate, you have to be very patient with your client, very, very patient with your client. Like I said, don't be aggressive, don't be too pushy, don't be like, oh, I have things to do. No. So you have to be. So these three things: customer-centric approach, effective communication, and creative problem solving. These three things must be your anchor. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. So I'll then leave the floor open for questions. So if you want to ask me any question, you can unmute your mic and ask me your question. So do we have any question? You can unmute your mic and ask questions.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you for the speeches on handling objection. Just want to ask concerning a friend that I have. He has already requested for a certain property that I am selling, and I've sent him the details already. And afterwards, he said I should give him some time that I want to make some findings that he will get back to me on a particular day. On that very day, I didn't hear from him in a message to actually know if he has done his findings. And till this very moment now, he hasn't replied to the message. So I was wondering what else could I could I have done or could I have not done. I did not make him actually get back to me, even up to now. I don't know.
Okay, so you said this. Okay, so let me just get what you said. You said that there was a client you prospected. You sent
Yes,
him. He said he was going to get back to you. You sent him
yes, yes,
messages. He didn't get back to you.
yeah, yes, yes. I've already given him the details of the property he wanted that he liked. Everything is
Okay.
requested from me. I've already given to. He has asked some questions regarding the property, the owner, and the area which I have provided our address. He now said he also want to make his own some findings and get back to me about 2 or 3 days after. But since then, he has not gotten back. And I sent a message to him, probably as a reminder, if he has not said anything.
Okay, so the thing is, okay, so when you people went on site, right?
No, we haven't gone on site. But
Okay.
details of all that he requested on the property, he has already gotten all the details that he requested from me on the property.
Okay, sometimes when the client says I will get back to you it can be, first of all, sometimes maybe he doesn't like what he's saying. And sometimes some clients will just say, I'll get back to you to like, sometimes maybe they don't, maybe he doesn't want to buy, or it's not what he wants. Do you
Okay.
understand? Maybe he doesn't want that particular product, because sometimes when some client go, the client can go cold like that. It might be that it's not the product he wants. Maybe he doesn't want that particular product. He doesn't like it. Sometimes, so the client can go cold because he's not ready to commit. He's not ready to commit sometimes. Or sometimes it can be budget. So there are lots of things that can run through the client's mind,
Okay.
because of course it's not like I've had some of those things. So when somebody says, I'll get back to you. And
Yes.
sometimes even when you call them, they might not even take their calls. But I also want to encourage you not to like don't give up, keep pushing. Just keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Even if this one doesn't respond to you, another person will respond to you. Do you understand? In
Yes.
sales, you have to be comfortable with no's. That's the truth. You have to be comfortable with no, I'm not interested. No's are not. But guess what? For every one no, there has to be a yes. for everyone knows. For example, now if you make calls, maybe say 10 to 20 calls. I'm just saying, there's no how 1 or 2% will be interested. So you just keep pushing. That's how sales is. That's how it is. Sometimes clients can even be sometimes you can even do an offer for a client. Like I said something now. I use myself as an example. I did an offer for a client last year. I did that offer 4 times at different times. Yes, you say, "Oh, I'll get back." He doesn't say anything. He will just go blank. He will just go cold. When he see my status again, he will just say, hey, I'm interested. And sometimes, that's why I said patience is required in real estate. You have to be patient. You have to understand with the client. But sometimes too, the person might actually want to buy, but maybe business or maybe the money they're expecting has not come true. It can be a lot of factors. I also gave an example of how I followed up one woman, a couple, they're architects. I followed them up for 4 months, and I finally closed that sale. So the sales process is a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey. So in the journey of selling, you have to be patient, right? You have to be patient. So don't worry. Just keep spreading your tentacles. Just keep doing all the right things. If this doesn't, the man has, if he decided to go cold and everything, then from time to time you can send in, like for example, now we're running a promo. You can send in flyers of promo. You can send in flyers on the promo. And sometimes you can just call, hi, you doing? Just how is business? But you might not even talk and say anything about sales or selling. Just how is business, how is everything, how is life? Okay. No, I just stopped to check on you. That is all. You're not saying anything about sales.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Don't worry. Yeah, welcome. So I have a question in the chat box. It says, what of when you have a prospect that showed interest after inspection, then suddenly disengaged? Well, so personally for me, when I take a client to site, I want to know why. I'm asking you, I'm literally asking you why you're not buying. That's why understanding the needs of clients is very important. Effective communication is very important. Sometimes you have to find out what the client wants first. Sometimes people want, I've gotten people that will tell me, no, I don't want anything under construction. I want a finished property. I don't want anything on that. Then I'll start selling the benefits of why they should buy, and then I'll tell them the timeline. Do you understand? Okay. Said he's not saying anything. Yes, that's what I'm telling you, that you can take somebody to site for inspection, and the person can go cold. It happens a lot in this industry, in sales generally. It happens a lot. So there are reasons why the person can go cold. Maybe budgets. And that's why when you're taking the person to site, that's why it's good for you to know everything we have. Like what the options that we have. For example, now we have housing fund, we have pension. People can even access it. We can help them we can help them, introduce them to people in charge of that, and they can access their pension, and they can get the house on mortgage. Because sometimes people can say, oh, it's expensive. Sometimes, too many reasons. So on site, when you take a client to site, you're casting that objection. You're telling the benefits. You're asking the client, okay, ma, so what do you think about it? And the person says, oh, I'll get back to you. Oh, sir, is there do you have concerns? Are there questions? Do you have questions? Because me personally, I want to close that sale on site. I want to know why you're not buying, or you're telling me now, okay, why I can't make you an offer. So I want to know, like, why? Because that getting back to me, I'll get back to you. You're getting back to me. Is the person a decision maker? You're getting back to me. You want to go and discuss with your wife so that you guys will come and see the property. What is your getting back to me? Do you understand? What is your getting back? So sometimes clients can just either pricing, or maybe the person is not ready, and that's where a person is not ready. That's where there's something we call profiling in sales. You have to profile your client before you even take anybody to site. Find out if the person actually wants to buy, and the person is not because they have time with that. There are people that want to waste time. They don't want to buy, and yes, you take them to site. So you have to first of all understand the needs of your client. What does the client want? That's where you start from. Because if you start selling, oh, we have a 2-bedroom apartment, of course you can do all that. It's going for total. So you're convincing the client, you're compelling the client without understanding what the client needs, without selling the benefits to the client. The client can just follow you to site. Oh, you do not inspection. Yeah, now after inspection, then I can disengage. Do you understand? So that is it. So you just have to keep making all the calls, prospecting, so that is it. So in that case, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. You can just be sending him pointers. And just be sending him pointers. Does anyone have any other question?
Hello. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yes, I have a question. So, I'm currently talking to someone now about comment script,
Okay.
and then the issue he has is, so he asked me, are there any extra charges? That is the price all inclusive? So I told him it's not all inclusive. So there will still be legal and documentation. There will still be other service charge. And then it was like, that's like extra 3 million naira. Because by the time we did, I broke everything down. I said that's like extra 3 million, and that's treacherous. So I really don't know how to go about that. How to counter that particular
Objection.
Yes.
Okay, so in terms of if you can just paint a scenario to the person. If the person it's just like now you're looking for a house, right? You pay agency fee. Is standard procedure. You tell the person is standard procedure. That's the standard procedure in the real estate market. That's standard procedure. You pay legal fees, you pay agency fee if you're renting. It's the same way if you're buying. It's standard procedure. And then you also sell the benefits to that person. The person is getting the person is not getting the apartment at the actual price. You have to make the person serious. You're telling the person that, oh, houses in VGC cost 120 million, 130 million for a 2-bedroom apartment, 90 million for a 2-bedroom apartment, 100 million for a 2-bedroom apartment. You're getting it for this price. If you're getting it for this price, so it means that, of course, it's under construction, right? We need the estates, or the people in the estate will have to pay developmental fee. There's something we call developmental fee. You need to fix your lights now. You need to fix your light. Even him personally builds his house, he has to fix his light. You call NEPA, you have to do. So all those things are part of developmental fees. It's not inclusive. What we are selling to you is value, is the property that we are selling to you. Other things are not there, and they cannot be inclusive. Because first of all, the person is already getting it at a very, very good price, right? The person is already getting it in fact, at a very, very good price. You have to tell the person, do you know that if you can pay now and you finish up your payment, if you want to resell this house, you sell it double or triple of what you bought it. So you have to, in overcoming that particular objection, you have to tell the person that, okay, legal fees and the standard procedure. Somebody that can buy a property for 40, 50, 60 million, that should not be a problem. That should not be a problem. Do you understand? So you tell the person that, okay, it's not like you're not paying the developmental fee now. That one will come later. The important thing is to secure this apartment because units are fast selling. So all these things are missed. That's how you can actually overcome the objection. First of all, it's the standards, sir. Or this is the standard. I understand what you're trying to say. I understand you, but this is the standard. You want your documentation prepared by a lawyer, right? And properly documented. So legal fees are there. Developmental fee, you're buying property under construction. We sell one of the most affordable. Can find out around this in the real estate industry. We build with the best materials, right? So we are giving you value for your money. Then thirdly, we need to develop, of course, it's under construction. Let's say pathway to this place now. Let's say Carmen Street. The road to that place has to be developed. And it's not included in the cost of the apartments. It's not included in the cost of the apartment. So it's something, it's not a big deal, something that the person should be able to do. So you have to give him reasons, and like I said, you have to sell the benefits of Carmen Street.
All right.
So look at what you're buying now. Look at what you're buying. See, it's opposite. It's close to Film House. Look at Black Bell around here. See Miss K Boutique and see benefits now. So look at what we are giving. This apartment is very, very affordable. It's very affordable because we want you to. We're actually giving you value. We want you to own a home, to have that experience of owning a home. So we didn't incur the developmental fee into it. We didn't incur it. But sir, you can pay a down payment of this. Developmental fee can come later. Okay.
All right.
So
Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome. Does anyone also do you have any questions? So in the absence of none, I'll be ending this training session. I want to thank everyone for taking out their time to participate in these training sessions. Thank you so much. If there's anything, you can always reach out to Cherry, and then she'll be able to answer every other question. Thank you so much for participating. God bless you all. Do have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Let's see if search and rescue can find a body.